Hello and welcome to this
Hello.
MSB podcast. My name's Thomas O'Reilly and I'll be your host for this podcast series. This series sees me sit down with the partners of the firm and get to know them a bit better and get insight into their career journey. So joining me today, I've got managing partner Emma Carey.
Hello.
And head of family department Emma Palmer.
Hello.
How are you both doing? You okay?
Good. We're a little bit nervous. We've not done this before, but good.
No. So my first question is just, can you tell us just a bit about your background and your journey to becoming a partner?
Okay.
I don't know who wants to go first.
Shall I start?
Emma, yeah,
okay.
please.
I went to school in Liverpool. I went to university in Liverpool. And then I did the legal practice course in Chester. I think I never actually thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I can't remember when the point was and the penny dropped I was going to be a lawyer. Very much I got really good A-levels at school. And at that point, it was either you did medicine or you did law. And so I did law because I couldn't really see myself as a doctor. And even doing the law degree, I don't think I thought, right, I'm going to be a lawyer. I actually hated the law degree. It was very much about learning as opposed to questioning things. And I'd done history, geography and economics at A-level, loved history, really had a passion for history. But then I just kind of got on a conveyor belt and went from doing a law degree to doing the LPC course, which is the course that qualifies you as a solicitor, and just absolutely loved the LPC and seeing how you apply what you've learned and the statutes and all these cases that you've learned over 3 years in reality and practically how you work. So when I finished my LPC, I didn't have a training contract. I'd really struggled to get a training contract. And I worked voluntary in the Citizens Advice Bureau. And I really, really enjoyed that. I quite liked the fast pace of it. You know, you would literally see 30 people in a day back to back. But it taught me skills that I've kept throughout my career, and that experience was definitely invaluable. And then I started working at a law firm that did a lot of multi-party actions. And we were doing a big nuisance claim in Runcorn at the time about noise pollution, which was the most probably soul-destroying 6 months of my life. in that I had to ask about 3,000 residents how the noise affected them over and over and over again. Anyway, I started doing some injunction work and doing injunctions in a family context. And the person that used to serve my injunctions on the other side was a man who sadly isn't with us now, but a lovely man who really influenced my career. Alan Fletcher, and he was good friends with Paul Bibby and Sean Sexton, who were the two founding partners of MSB. And he said to me, I know a firm that you'd really like and you'd really be happy in. And so he got me an interview with Paul Bibby, and I started as a paralegal with Paul Bibby. And he offered me a training contract 3 months later. And I've spent my entire career at MSB. I was the first female trainee at MSB. I was the first female lawyer at MSB, the first female partner, and the first female managing partner. So sadly, Impressive. You can't beat that.
I can't beat that.
So yeah, that's just a little bit how I've ended up here today.
Wow, excellent. And yeah. Emma?
I mean, I absolutely can't beat that. But a lot of our story is the same, which I didn't realise till now. Which is quite good. I mean, I went to school in Chester, went to the University of Leicester and came back to College of Law in Chester to do that. I also hated is too strong. I disliked my law degree.
Yeah, maybe hated was too strong.
No, for me, hated was, but I didn't enjoy it at all. And I didn't start out doing a law degree because I wanted to be a lawyer. I had no idea what I wanted to be. And I applied for every graduate position that I could, and I got offered quite a few of them. So I could have been a trainee area manager at Lidl with a decent car. They gave you an Audi. I remember thinking that's amazing, and a decent salary. An insurance job, that I got offered. I applied to be like a fast track prison warden, all of these different jobs, which clearly show I had no idea at all what I wanted to be, none. And none of them felt right when I got offered them. And I don't know what happened. I ended up at College of Law. And same, I just really enjoyed my LPC. It was practical, whereas the degree I found to be, not for me, a bit too bland, I think. But solving all the problems on the LPC was so much better. I loved it. And then because I hadn't known what I wanted to be a lawyer, I hadn't applied for training contracts in my degree like every sensible person does. So I started applying crazily, really, in my last part of my LPC. And luckily enough, Paul Bibby picked up my CV, interviewed me, and I was very fortunate to get the job. And I became Emma's trainee. And then Emma has just guided me and supported me the whole way through until I became a partner, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I think now. Yeah, head of family department. I don't know when that was.
About 18 months ago.
2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, time flies.
2 years ago.
Time flies.
Excellent. No, yeah, that's really interesting. Well, as you mentioned there, Emma, now you're head of family department, and Emma, you were head of family department, passing the reins over to Emma. So I'll ask you, Emma, what has it been like going from head of the family department to now managing partner of the whole firm? Because obviously you're in control not just of the family department anymore. It's, all the different departments that the firm covers. Can you give us an insight into that?
I think, the family department was my baby. It was born out of a filing cabinet. 20 years ago when I was Paul Bibby's trainee, he did a bit of everything and he hated family. And he said to me, there's a drawer full of family files there. Why don't you just crack on with them? And that's how the family department became and grew. And I nurtured that team for 18 years. And it was quite hard to let it go. But like with any baby, you have to let it go and see it go out into the world. And I couldn't be more proud of the way in which it's gone from strength to strength with Emma as the head of the department. I couldn't trust anybody else with my baby. But it really has grown, developed, strengthened and really, really flourished over the last 2 years, which is amazing. Taking over as managing partner, we interviewed somebody the other day, a young person who said, I see myself as a CEO when I'm 30. And I think I never would have said that when I was 24. I never would have saw myself as a partner, never mind the managing partner. So when I became managing partner, it was a bit like, oh, how's this happened? How have I ended up here? I'm not quite sure what's happened here. And it was quite frightening because I lived and breathed family for 18 years. And then all of a sudden you're overseeing areas of law that you don't really understand and don't really know about, and working with teams and people that you've not had that close relationship that you've built up previously, but you very quickly take to it and embrace it, and I've really enjoyed being managing partner and overseeing the vision of the firm and bringing that together, and I'm really excited for the future.
Brilliant. Yeah. And Emma, how has it been taking on that responsibility, that head of the family department from Emma?
Yeah, I mean, as Em said, it's been her baby and nearly 2 decades of it being her baby. That wasn't daunting at all to take this job.
No pressure.
no pressure at all. No. And, one of the really good things about it is that Emma's always there and she's a soundboard for me when I need her. And the other family partners have been amazing, and Joe Dalton as well. And with all that support, it's hard to find it too daunting. But it is a challenge, of course it is. I wouldn't be human if there weren't times when I thought, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Can I do it? But I think also there's been something about this last year and COVID that has thrown us all into it. And you haven't got time for any imposter syndrome. You haven't got time to doubt yourself. You just got to run with it. And that's what we've been able to do. And I think because of the huge amount of support that Emma and the family team have given me, it's been a lot easier than it could have been. And we do have an amazing family team, and Emma's nurtured that. And I've seen the blood, sweat and tears that have gone into creating the amazing team that we've got now. And I can say without boasting that I genuinely believe it's one of the best family teams in the country. And that's an amazing thing. So anyone would want this job. It's a great job to have.
Yeah.
I think as well, so one of the hardest things is that you are trained as a lawyer. And when you become a head of a department, you become a businesswoman, and you have to give up that being a lawyer and fee earn. And now I continue to fee earn as head of the department, but when you become managing partner, you don't do any fee earning, and you gauge and judge yourself by what you have fee earned in a day, and then all of a sudden you're not fee earning, and you think, wow, have I done anything today? Have I?
It is really strange how the way that you measure yourself on a day changes. That is really difficult to get used to. And I do still fee earn, absolutely do. And really enjoy that part of my job still. But the units that you measure yourself with do change, because I can do less fee earning now than I could. So that's a really strange thing. And to give up your caseload completely, that must be quite a thing.
Well, this was going to be my next question to you both was, well, you say, Emma, you still do a bit of fee earning, but obviously not as much as you used to. So is there anything that you miss about practice?
Yeah. I really enjoy being a lawyer, and absolutely love this role too. And I do like to try and balance both of them. And I can with supporting the team as well. I can still get stuck in and guide people and give my opinions on things. But I love getting stuck into the analytical part of things and really looking at the strategy. But that comes in both roles. I get the strategy of a case, and then I also get the strategy of where we're taking the department. So there's a lot of overlap, really, I guess, and enjoying both sides of it.
Yeah, brilliant. And Emma, how about you? Anything you miss about practice?
I prefer the management side of it, and the kind of overseeing and the business development and marketing and being involved in that. I do obviously miss practicing. I miss that client contact. I miss having a case that you see from beginning to end, and that you can't help but become passionate about that and become really, committed to what's going to happen and the outcome of that. I'm a bit different than Emma with fee earning, and I quite liked client contact and dealing with the clients and kind of I still do the citizens advice rota sometimes, because I quite like dealing with clients and kind of just talking to them, looking at what their issues are, identifying those issues. But then I quite like referring that on and going on to the next one, referring that one on and going on to the next one. So, of course, there are bits that you miss about it, but I do really enjoy the role that I've got now.
Yeah, great. And so I'll ask, so what's the plan for MSB? What do you see in the future? Is there a vision you have for MSB moving forward?
When I first became managing partner, we went through a rebranding process, not because we wanted to change anything about who we were, but we wanted to look at what journey we'd come on, and really articulate who we were as a firm, and then look at where we were going. And it was a really empowering process that we went through, and sadly it was before you joined us, Tom, so you weren't part of that process. But it involved everybody from the office junior to the managing partner, and the former managing partner also became very involved in that process. And it kind of brought together what people felt MSB was about, and what came out loud and clear was that we had a team that were proud to be lawyers, proud to work in the legal profession, and passionate about what they do, passionate about the delivery of legal services. And so we're taking, and I'm taking the firm forward, and the vision is to grow more organically than grow by, acquisitions or mergers, but to grow, we've got really good talent coming through. we've grown to this point very much organically. As Emma said before, she was my trainee. Nikki was my trainee. Pippa, who's just come back, was also my trainee. Tracy Quirk was my trainee. So we've grown very much organically, and that's what we want to continue to do. Continue to invest and nurture the next generation of lawyers that we can be really proud of, but the lawyers that we feel will be proud and passionate about the services that they deliver.
Excellent. Yeah, it's really inspiring. And Emma, I suppose the family department and how that will develop.
You're going to win awards.
That would be great. But, when I joined, there was, I think, 6 of us in the family team. There's more than 60 now. So it's grown an awful lot. And the type of work that we do has changed within that time as well. Our clients were local, now they're local, national, international, and we've got good standing for all of that. So the team is exceptional. And so what I would really like to see from the team moving forward is all the new ideas and the creativity that people have got, and the huge amount of talent that we've got in our team, from our paralegals and our trainee solicitors and our newly qualified. There's loads of new ideas. There's loads of new ways that they could take the team. And I'm really, really excited to see where those ideas lead us, really.
Yeah, I think an important thing in family law, when I started doing family law, it was divorces, and you did finances that came from the divorce or children that came from the divorce. And I can remember Part 4 of the Family Law Act 1996 coming in that introduced injunctions on a wide scale for the victims of domestic abuse. And that was seen as revolutionary at that time. And injunction work was this kind of really niche, exciting, cutting edge area of family law. But families have changed, and the issues that impact upon families have changed. And an MSB Family Team have changed with that. And they have developed skills and expertise in areas that many family teams don't have, but that can deal with these issues that do impact upon the modern family. And Emma doesn't sing her own praises enough, but she is leading expert on forced marriage, honour-based violence, child abduction, all issues that impact upon the modern family. And it's really interesting to see the cases and the calibre of work that's being done by MSB Family Team. I mean, I think they had 6 cases running in the Court of Appeal recently. So, amazing high level of really complex cases.
Yeah, well, that brings me on to a question our staff wanted me to ask you, Emma. Is obviously, we understand that you've recently become a doctor. You've now passed your PhD. And you've achieved this whilst also being head of the family department and then also a mother to your 2 young children. So we ask how you juggled it all, really, how you managed to do all that.
I didn't sleep, Tom. I think that's the truth of it.
Pro plus.
Very honest.
A lot of caffeine. Yeah. a lot of caffeine and little sleep. And anyone that's got different competing commitments, will say it's really hard. And I wouldn't necessarily suggest to anyone that they go out and start trying to do a doctorate at the same time as a full-time job, and demanding job as well as, my 2 children are the absolute world to me, and they are my priority above anything else. So my doctorate got done when most people sleep, and luckily my children were asleep by 7:30 because they were little. And so at 7:30 the children go to bed and out comes my work. It was a really, really hard slog, but I had, great support at work, as I've already said, of the amazing partners and team that I've got. But at home, I've got amazing support in my family as well, and cheerleaders for me, really, which when you want to throw your laptop out the window, you need that, Tom. You need someone that say you can do it and just finish it. And a flaw and a strength of mine is if I start something, I don't give up on it and it gets done by hook or by crook, and it did, and it can't be taken away, so I'm pleased I did it. But yeah, I didn't sleep for a while. It's the truth.
No, excellent. It's very inspirational. So is there any words of advice you could, give us to those?
Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
No.
Or in terms of advice for anybody wanting to start a career in the legal profession?
Yeah, we've got an awful lot of people that are studying at the same time as working a busy, demanding job and learning all those skills and their own commitments outside. I'm not the only person that's done that. it perhaps seems a bit different because it was a doctorate, but it's no different from the amount of commitment that everyone that's doing the part-time LPC has to do, or those that are studying towards their legal executive exams. It is a struggle to do everything, but it's temporary. And I think that's the one thing that I would say to everyone that is wanting to throw that laptop out the window and just give up on it all is it's temporary sacrifice of your social life for career-long gains, and it's worth it. It really is, and it pays off.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes, I think, for everyone to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it comes. And you do get to go out again and you get to socialise. So.
And there's no nicer feeling when you've done that last exam or put that last essay in and you think, never again. Well, I have to do that.
Yeah, I'm not there yet, but it's a
well,
couple
it's a
more
lovely
years.
feeling. Yeah.
And you'll get there and it will all be completely worth it.
Yeah.
That dedication. And I think you learn so many skills along the way as well that you don't expect to learn. The tenacity and dedication to keep going is something that you will employ later on in your life, not just in your career, of where you need to balance those things, or you just need to dig in a bit more than you ever think you can, and you will find it. So it's life skills as well.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, I feel motivated. Yeah, definitely. So I'll ask you both, obviously you have a great working relationship. So is there anything you can tell us that you admire in each other, or a funny story you've got to share with us?
I can definitely talk about things I admire about Emma. The funny stories I've got, and I've got a lot. They're probably better suited to a beer garden, to be honest, than broadcasting.
Well, we could take this to a beer garden.
We can definitely take it to a beer garden without the broadcasting part of it. But of all the things that I admire about Emma, and there are many, the support that she gives to everyone, and it's not just me that she supports. It's the whole team. It's Team MSB as a whole, and every individual in it. And I don't know where she finds the time to do it, but it's unwavering support. And you know that she's there when she needs you. And that's a huge thing of anyone, whether they're starting out in the career or, they're where I am. It's needed at every step of the way. And, one other thing that stands out to me as something really to admire for Emma is that she is an amazing businesswoman, and everyone can see what she's done since she's taken that baton over from Paul and become the managing partner. She's smashed that role and she's done it so well, and she's done it completely with all of her morals intact and at the forefront of her mind, and with social conscience running through every vein in her body. And you can look and see so many successful firms, Tom, in law and outside of law, but they might say the buzzwords, but they don't feel it through the organisation, and they don't live by those moral codes. But Emma does that with MSB, and it runs through the organisation and everything we do. It's something that I'm really proud that we've got what I consider to be a really ethically sound company, but the commercial decisions are made as well. It's not in spite of the moral conscience. It's because of the moral conscience, and I think that's an amazing thing.
Well, wow. I wish I'd practiced more because I don't know how I can I want to come back and say things that would touch you as much as that has touched me, because that is really lovely things to say. When I saw that question, the first thing that sprang to mind was Emma got her maths O-level at the age of 10. And
wow.
that was like, wow. I
impressive,
struggled to get it at 16. I think one of the things I most admire about Emma from a very personal level is she challenges me. And when you are someone, they're your trainee, or you're the head of the family team, or you're the managing partner, people don't challenge you. And we all need to be challenged, and we all need to discuss ideas through. And Emma always sees things really fairly and from both sides. I can be a bit kind of like one-sided and tunnel visioned at times. And Emma will say, oh no, haven't you thought about it from that? And from a personal level, that's something that I really, really value. We did talk about lots of funny stories, but we decided we couldn't say them on camera. So we'll tell you later.
Right, I look forward to it. Well, I'd like to say thank you both for taking the time out to come and speak to me today. It's been really great. I've learnt a lot and been inspired by what you've had to say. So I'd like to say thank you. Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.